Hello, I'm Daniel Anthony and you're watching KiniFlash. Just how poor are we? This is a question that's on the minds of many Malaysians after United Nations Special Rapporteur Philip Alston criticized the Malaysian government for severely underrepresenting the true state of poverty in the nation. The Prime Minister's economic advisor, Muhammad Abdul Khalid, admitted that the Economic Affairs Ministry's yardstick for poverty was outdated. He said that in order to solve this problem, we have to accept reality. He said even the poverty line income or PLI definition of Palestine and Zimbabwe, two countries whose GDP is 1/10 of that of Malaysia's, has a higher PLI level than we do. Muhammad also said that the MEA data suggest that Johor, Melaka, Selangor, Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya have zero parent poverty, which he argued was not true. Entrepreneur Development Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Redzuan Yusof has reached out to the private sector to help school leavers get trained or employed. He said that there was a gap in the system as graduates got their degrees or qualifications but needed to go through another training program before they could be accepted in the industry.
Because most of our graduates, for example, they get their degree or qualification having to go through another training program before they can be accepted by the industry. So we have a bit of gap that we are addressing currently, because we need to formulate some form of system whereby the moment graduates leave school or universities, they can immediately get employed.
At this point of time, we are still not sure if Indonesian e-hailing company GoJack services will be brought to our shores. However, over in Indonesia, GoJack drivers are already threatening to protest against us. This follows the comment made by local Big Blue taxi company founder Syamsubaran Ismail to host a protest against the proposal. According to Indonesian media, Igun Wicaksono, the head of online motorcycle taxi driver community Garda, said that they will submit a written protest to the Malaysian ambassador. Syamsubaran earlier had voiced his displeasure at the proposed introduction of GoJack in Malaysia and also warned that he would not hesitate to organize a protest if his company's standpoint was ignored by the government. Here's an interesting fact. All the seats in the Kuala Lumpur High Court are cushioned except for the bench in the dock, and this, according to lawyer Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, has left his client, former Premier Najib Abdul Razak, with a sore behind. When met outside the courtroom today, Shafi said that it goes against the concept of innocent until proven guilty, as they are already punishing his client. He then requested that Attorney General Tommy Thomas and the court take measures to soften the wooden seat on which Najib was forced to sit on for hours on a daily basis. In a post on Facebook, Najib said that Shafi was merely expressing concern about his health, having to sit between 4 and 10 hours a day for a period of 58 days on the wooden bench in the dock. The prosecution closed its case against Najib today. Najib is facing 7 charges relating to 42 million ringgit involving SRC International, a former 1MDB subsidiary. In a post on online media yesterday, the daughter of former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak, Nuriana Najwa Najib, claimed that the Inland Revenue Board, or IRB, is taxing her over her house, which her husband listed her as a joint owner of. Not just that, Nuriana also claims that gifts and the dowry or wang hantaran that she received from her husband is also being taxed. Nuriana said that she had submitted all documents and proof when the taxmen went after her last year, including bank documents that showed that most of her, quote, income from abroad were transferred from her husband's family, as well as documents showing her in-laws purchasing a home using their funds from abroad. She added that her husband and his family have been independently wealthy long before they met, and even before her mother-in-law was married to one of Kazakhstan's richest tycoon for 10 years. The IRB is seeking 10.3 million ringgit in unpaid income taxes. They claim that Noriana failed to declare her individual income under Section 77 of the Income Tax Act 1967 for the years of 2011 to 2017. Education Minister Dr. Mazli Malik has announced that the government will provide free breakfast to all primary school children beginning January next year. Mazli said that the idea was the brainchild of Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad following his observations in Japan that school children were provided free meals to ensure that they have enough nutrition. At a press conference today, the Ministry of Health said that they would monitor programs like this in terms of safety on nutrition and dietary concerns.
KKM akan memantau penyediaan makanan kepada kanak-kanak tersebut. Seperti apabila kita bekalkan susu satu Malaysia, KKM memang aktif memantau keselamatan makanan tersebut.
Moving on, did you know that Taiwan is rated 3rd among the list of prime Islamic-friendly travel destinations by the non-Islamic OIC destinations? They are not stopping there. Taiwan is also working towards creating a Muslim-friendly environment with various halal-certified eateries to ensure a full-service getaway for all, regardless of religion.
At one glance, Taipei may not be the main choice for local Muslims to travel because of its cultural and food differences in a predominantly Chinese place. However, this concern can be alleviated because in fact many Muslim-friendly facilities have been provided throughout Taipei City. According to the Global Muslim Travel Index GMTI 2019 report by Mastercard Christian Rating, Taiwan is ranked 3rd in the prime Islamic-friendly travel destination category for non-Islamic Cooperation OIC destinations. Taipei Information and Tourism Department Commissioner Liu Yiting said, according to statistics from the Ministry of Transport of Taiwan's Tourism Division, for the first half of 2019, Malaysians visiting Taiwan were 265,142. With Muslim-friendly facilities, Liu hopes Muslim visitors can enjoy the beauty of Taiwan without any worries. Among interesting facilities to Muslim tourists, hotel rooms are provided with Quran and prayer mats. Prayer time and Taipei Mosque addresses are also printed in brochures. Taiwan Tourism introduces medical tourism, especially in the health and aesthetic management sector, which has grown rapidly and has become a trend for Muslim market, encouraging local clinics and hospitals to seek recognition of Muslim-friendly status and halal certificates. The Bureau has worked with Taiwan's halal certification bodies to issue certificates for restaurants that provide halal food, as well as to hotels and central kitchens.
Following a boom in tourism, Indonesia has decided to close Komodo Island to the public next year to allow for the recovery of the world's largest lizard and its habitat. However, their plans don't have the backing from everybody. The Indonesian government plans to close Komodo Island, which is home to around 1,700 Komodo dragons, to the public from January next year in a bid to conserve the rare reptiles. In 2018, more than 176,000 tourists thronged the Komodo National Park, a conservation area between the islands of Sumbawa and Flores. This action is in the hope that closing the island to tourists will cut the risk of poaching and allow for recovery in the numbers of the animal's preferred prey, such as deer, buffalo, and wild boar. However, not everyone is happy with this proposal. The scheme also involves moving about 2,000 villagers off the island, many of whom have lived there for generations.
We don't want to move. My ancestors' graves, my father's grave, they are all here. What will happen to them if we have to leave?
The island could reopen after a year, but the plan is to make it a premium tourist destination. Critics say that upgrading Komodo Island to a tourism destination will only benefit large tourism companies instead of those who have lived on the island for generations. Before we wrap up, here are some other news highlights from today. And that's all we got time for today. For more, you can log on to KiniTV.com. Don't forget that you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching.